Yeah! After spending hours and hours in A&E. Hey, good then. Yeah, Jez, there's no excuse now.
Can't stop himself again.
Got everyone a pair each, there's no fighting.
Put your name on.
Quite nice though, as far as it goes.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You can see the fucking paint even better.
Dad used to wear these, so it makes it look fucking
Got to feel tired as well. There you go, look after him there. It all started working on a series in my dad's shed. I followed my dreams and joined the Marines, serving in Afghanistan. Defenders were always part of me. So here we are, building custom machines with my awesome team in Shropshire. We are MAHKER. Hi guys, I'm Dave and welcome to my channel MAHKER. And today I'm going to talk you through what's been going on in my workshop. So one of my guys, Jeremy, kept it pretty quiet that he's actually a dab hand at a bit of valeting. So I've got all the gear, bought the mops, bought the polishers, you name it, got endless equipment. So I thought, hang on a minute, I'm missing a trick here. So I used to pay a guy that used to come on site and do my valeting for me. So we had this car, next week it's been handed over to the customer Richard, and the truck we've called Muddy. Its actual build name is called number 8. There's a bit of a funny story about that. The car actually got squished on its way to us in a very bad accident. So we've rebuilt it for Richard. We rebuilt it with a LS3. We rebuilt it with a very strong transmission. It's also got ATB Diffs. ATB Diffs. It's got Ashcroft half shafts and CVs that you'll see in the episode, I think, from last week. We've also given the car some very tasty brakes. So it's our 16-inch AP brakes. So these brakes we've took a long time to develop. So these are basically a mix between everyday driving, and if you want to go fast, they will also assist you with that. We've picked a very select pad and working with a very close company that also works for AP. So we're hoping they're going to be a good hit for us. And also today, Sam's been busy on the Unimog. So we've got a very, I want to say vintage to Doka. So a very classic looking thing, loads of beautiful patina. And we've actually put it on a GMC Tavern chassis. This chassis is very, very strong. So it was designed, I think it was about a 19-ton truck when the military used it. And we've designed it to accept the body of the Unimog. So we've got big 40-inch trepidors on there. I think they're 44s actually. So they're fair wheels. And we've got some monster, I think they're Danner 80 axles. So, but behind them axles, we've got a 5.9 litre Cummins mated to a 4L80 manual valve body built by John Sleeth up in Doncaster. And we've built this car to be pretty strong and pretty robust, and I want to say reliable having the Cummins in there, but making it work in there took some figuring out. So our good friend Colin at Creative Alloy has made us a beautiful cooling kit that I'll show you in a moment. Ben came over today and picked up his distressed leather Recaros, which Mark has made an absolute epic job of in our trim shop. So if anyone likes those, do get in touch, because we have expanded, we've made a nice big trim shop, so Mark needs to start earning me some money to pay for that work. And I think what else? So I've actually got my hands dirty today for a change. So I've been busy. What have I been doing? Oh yeah, building brakes for another car that will be fitting tomorrow. And yeah, basically catching up with jobs, getting on top of things. And the diesel Project Ninja, that is coming on leaps and bounds. Project Spirit is getting nearly there. We're just waiting on the loom and the ECU from America. So we need to give the guys in America another kick up the ass. But other than that, guys, you want to come inside and I'll show you what I've been doing. Handy enough, isn't it, man?
Looking smart.
So guys, this is the Unimog. This is built up from, I want to say, probably the strongest components you can physically get your hands on in, I don't know, the building of cars world. So this here is a new process, monstrous transfer case. Just look at the size of it in relation to me. It is absolutely huge. The thing's about 3 foot square. And we're running 1410 yokes. They are prop shafts as big as my fist. This here is a 4L80. This gearbox is renowned for being one of the most bomb-proof gearboxes. Automatic transmission, but we've got a manual valve body, so we literally can go park, reverse, first, 1, 2, 3. And trust me, guys, there's lots of these that run these in the Ultra 4 world, the mudding world, the bogging world, and believe me, they give them absolute stick and they just last. But we've got a very low stall converter in there because we want this diesel to lock up really low down, get these big tyres spinning and get the customer going up the road, because this is going to be like an advertisement, promotional vehicle for the guy's business. So Sam today's been making this tank cradle, which is a fantastic bit of engineering. He picked up from Tom yesterday, and what can I say? It's bang on. So what you see here, this is the cradle that we've made to house this. So this is a carbon Kevlar fuel cell. This is actually an ex-military fuel cell that we managed to pick up at an auction. And I wanted this because I didn't want something bright aluminium that's not going to pick up with the patina of this truck. So we found this. It's actually got an ATL racing insert inside it. We've got a nice built-in lifter. There's a pre-supply pump in there, some nice Dash 6 fittings. So I actually think this race look is actually going to work along with the vintage look. So we're looking forward to getting this mounted. We're going to get some Twin Odyssey batteries in next week, hoping to get some power into this girl and send the customer a really tasty video of some nice exhaust notes. So tune into the next episode, guys, to hear this thing roar from that mighty 3.5-inch exhaust. So what you see there is a monstrous twin fin intercooler mated to a monstrous radiator. So we wanted to be able to give this truck maximum cooling because we don't actually know what's going to go on the back of this truck. It might be towing some big oak beams for its demonstration, its promotional period. So we wanted to give him the ultimate of what this Cummins potential is basically going to harness. So these here are big 3-inch boost pipes. These are made from 316 stainless steel. And as you can see here, Sam's put some beautiful welds down on this job. What you see there is a 5.9 litre 12 valve Cummins. So this is renowned for being one of the world's most iconic, reliable engines, found in most DAF trucks, buses, bin wagons, you name it. This engine is in most of them. So what you have here is a super reliable monster, and this really will get you up and going. Very torquey. She'll rev out about 3,200 with the governor spring we plan on putting inside it, but other than that, it is gear driven, no rubbish belts in this, guys. This is just going to plod on forever. We're going to try and get him under the 300 horsepower range, so it's super reliable, super torquey, and gets the job done.
Keep the seat.
So guys, what we have here, this is a 30-year-old chassis that Darren's been busy this week replacing. So as you see here, this rear section, up until the rear outriggers we've replaced, all the way from the rear to the midsection. This was totally rotten. So top member was totally shot. You could literally fit your hand through the top there, which we'll show you shortly in some of the photos. You can see here, left hand and right hand bulkhead outriggers. Both of those are totally rotten. So replacement chassis parts supplied these parts for us. Makes a fantastic job, and it looks better than it did when it left the factory. You see here the dumbbells, they were totally rotten. So this was the hardest bit to get right. So we've got a big steel jig, which is around the corner. We turn the chassis upside down, we bolt it to it, we pick up on all the crucial points to make sure everything is accurate when it goes back together, because last thing we want is the wing to be up cocked or down a bit. We know we've got a bit of slack here in the bolting of this system, but we try and make these chassis better than they were. And the reason why we've repaired this and not replaced it with new is this chassis is off to California. And as we know, matching numbers are necessary. The numbers on the chassis must be matching. I've heard there's a fine now for cars that don't match. So literally the centre section is the only thing that's original, but we've done it. This is off to the blast shop and then it's off to be painted. So tune in next week to see the finished result. Hi guys, so for those of you that remember this, so this was the chassis that we pieced in the outriggers, we pieced in the back end, we pieced in the cross member, and we put the front end on it because this was a very sorry 30-year-old chassis. Darren's made a fantastic job of the welding. It's very solid. This has just been through our blast room and our paint department, and as you can see, we've gone for a very glossy paint. It will dull off in age, obviously when it gets washed and things, but there's 6 litres of paint gone into this chassis. We've got it inside, we've got it underneath, we've flipped it, we've got a spit in our spray booth. So we've gone to town on this chassis. So if you tune into next episode, you will see what lands on top of this chassis. And it's gonna be a beautiful green, nice classic colour, 110 county station wagon. Same again, all period to its age. And then you'll see our very shiny 200 TDI and a fully rebuilt LT77 gearbox going in there. So make sure you tune into that one. Thanks again for watching, guys. Really do appreciate your feedback and the following and the love. But please don't forget to subscribe. So go down below, hit that subscribe button, and please share it, guys. Social media forums, get them out there. We're really trying our best here, guys, and we need your help to help build this and to keep it going, because YouTube's not quite making me enough money just yet. But tell us what you want us to see. Tell us what you want to know. And if you want any tips for your own Land Rovers, don't be afraid to ask, guys. I'll either say yes or no. So anyway, tune into the next episode to see what we're up to. Thank you.